Hi, my name is Keith, and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man. And today I'm going to be talking to you all about the proper way that angels should be approaching you. And my angels did some artwork in the background. They are artists. I don't know what that is. If you think you know what those clouds are, then comment. I have never seen those in any of my videos that I do here. But today I don't call anyone out, but this is to really help people because there's the truth. And there's that. People like to say, this is my truth. And I'm always the mean one for saying there's no your truth unless you're talking about your passions, your dreams, your goals, your voice, expressing your throat chakra. And that's not my boat, by the way, for the new people out here. I don't know where that came from, but there is the truth. And then people say, this is my truth. Well, my truth is that this being came up to me and told me that I'm God. Huh? Giant red flag. That has to be the biggest red flag in the entire world. You have a very dangerous, and when an entity comes up to you like that, telling you that, that's the most volatile dark entity ever, because that entity is going to get punishment, but that entity does not care. It's a fallen angel. It doesn't care what kind of punishment it gets because it's so desperate for energy. And I'll teach you guys some angels in this video who really get rid of dark entities, but most importantly, you have to move yourself closer to God. You have to develop your connection with God. He's the one to remove demons at the end of the day. Demons can't bypass God. They can't, because guess who made them? Guess who allowed them to be here? Guess who's putting them in a place upon Judgment Day? Now, I'm going to teach you guys about how angels are supposed to actually be approaching you. Okay. This might be a little more of a intricate video, so I'm assuming that since a lot of you who get crystals from me, specifically crystal necklaces, you've been having your gifts opened. So a lot of you have been hearing angels and seeing angels, smelling angels, tasting angels, etc. So that's really cool. Now it's my responsibility, now that I have your gifts opened and they're opening more. Well, it's God who's in charge of your gifts, but I put very, very special blessings in my jewelry to help unlock your spiritual gifts to talking to angels. Actual angels, because there's too many fakes. As seen on TikTok and on YouTube, but people are not working with actual angels. And the one way you can tell is the angel has nothing to say about God, but they're putting on a show. That's one of the biggest things. I have to tell you right now, there's a giant to learn about angels, it's very trippy. Because I keep the information very simple for you guys. The actual information on angels is very trippy. Like how angels perceive you and how they help you, they're in interdimensionals, and some of them who are higher up are omnipresent. What does that mean? So basically you'll have a different concentration of an angel standing over here and a different concentration of an angel standing over there. Angels are pretty much like St. Michael the Archangel is at every corner, helping everyone's guardian angel, but for the people who actually work with him, he's in a higher concentration with that person. So when you ask God for help, then he can do more for you because you asked for the help. It's for you for the people just asking angels for help. People will tell me, I've been asking St. Michael for help for years and he doesn't do anything for me. I'm like, have you talked to God? Have you talked to the person in charge? You're trying to talk to the teacher's assistant, but you're in the top teacher's assistant, but you're not going to the teacher. You might as well not be in the class. And that's exactly how it is. So with people who open their spiritual gifts, the one thing that's required is for you to talk to God, because he gave you the gifts. He allowed you to have the gifts. He let us come back here. The thing is, if you're opening your gifts and you're not opening them correctly, so if you're doing it without prayer, if you're opening your gifts and something around you is not right, it could have been someone else's attachment or it could have been your attachment. All you have to do to pick up mud is sometimes just step through it when you're walking. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, but you pick it up. You bring the mud home with you, and you bring enough of it, and now it's a mud pie. What an example. Now you have a bunch of mud in your home when your home it's not outside, and now your home's looking like outside because you carried so much mud in. But when it comes to the topic of angels approaching you, how is an angel supposed to approach? How are they supposed to? I'm excited to teach this. How are angels supposed to? How are they supposed to approach you? I'm so just excited to teach this. The thing is, an angel can approach you the biggest show they'll ever put on is actually a very silent show. So a lot of you, when you have your introductions to your guardian angels, they'll appear as a spark, they'll come to you in a dream, they'll hover above your bed, and they'll just say hi, and they'll send you love. It's very simple, it's very major, but it's very small at the same time. So it is major because that's a giant sign, like, oh, I'm seeing them directly in front of me, like, whoa, what is this? They're appearing in front of me. Versus, how do you know when it's not your guardian angel and the thing used to be a guardian angel? Now it's a guardian something else. Now it's a guardian fallen angel, which those things are not guardian. They'll guard their own motives. That's it. For people working with demons, it's really sad because people working with demons, those demons can actually be bribed by other people who work with demons off the person if they're paying more. So if that person has more of an energetic sacrifice to give, maybe with energy or actual sacrifice, then the person's guides will just leave because they'll just go to the person with the higher energy. That's how demons operate. They don't care about you. They don't care. And they're trying to do as much as they can to take you with them. So, demons are very smart. They're very intelligent. And if you see flies in this video, I'm standing next to someone, I mean, these things have flies all over them, so it's not like, oh, there's well, I made a video talking about how when you see flies, it's angels are watching. I mean, no. Seeing flies is demons watching you. Seeing birds, angels watching you. Most of you have both watching you. That's actually the reality that we live in. This is the world. We have everything down here. We're not just here alone. We didn't come back on this planet to accomplish nothing without challenges. Okay? It's kind of like when you play, ironically they call it God mode in a video game. There's no challenge. You don't really accomplish anything and you don't really play the video game for that long. But when you're here and you have challenges, then your actions and your deeds actually have much meaning. Versus when you just get them all done like immediately. And then you don't even want to play the video game. Like I'm not going to use any video games as an example, but when it comes to angels approaching you, that's usually how an actual angel is going to approach you. Very softly, non-dramatic. And I'm starting to notice trends here. I'm actually starting to notice trends. I'm noticing that people who get approached by a fallen angel, those things put on the biggest shows. The number one color you'll see is gold. I don't know why yet, but it's really interesting. Maybe, I mean, if you guys think you know why, then put it in the comment section because I still have to come up with a conclusion. But everyone who's ever talked to me about them being approached by an angel that wasn't an angel, it had something to do with gold. That's a common trend, and that just occurred to me with a YouTube comment that I've seen yesterday, and this video is here to help you. I'm not calling you out to make fun of you or put you down. I'm here to help you and educate you, and your experiences will help others too. But when you see gold, it's a red flag, unless it's a spark, a very tiny spark, which it'll be gold and white. You shouldn't see golden rings, you shouldn't see golden things, you shouldn't see golden lights. They shouldn't be singing to you like that. The most an angel will sing to you is church music. Angels can actually make certain songs play, which is pretty cool. But it's all holy music. It's not like, they're not trying to siren you. They're not trying to put on a show. These things are going on around the people who can perceive them and doing the most because they want to capture the person who is perceive them. So you'll have all these different weird feelings, and then like you'll have your back will be tingling, you'll feel a numbness on your head, and you're like, ooh, I think I'm getting upgraded. No, the thing's attaching itself to you. You'll feel things that you've never felt in your whole life. You'll be going into, you'll have trances. You'll go into trances, long trances, and it's basically attaching itself to you as best as it can and putting an insignia on you to invite its friends, because these demons do have friends and they work together. Angels work together, so do demons. Demons will put each other down to get in front of each other too, which is really ironic. Versus angels will actually team up and be like, okay, cool. But why are these demons allowed to come around you in the first place? Number one, it's your intentions you put off, or an intention someone else put off that you walked through or picked up. So if you picked up an entity that's present, and sometimes it's heartbreaking for you guys to find out, like, oh, instead of for me thinking I was approached by an angel, a fallen angel approached me. Well, it approached you because you're very gifted. That's why it approached you. It's because no one else sees it, or can see what it can do or say or present itself. And you're so gifted to the point where this thing can present itself to you. On the downside, it means you have to develop your connection with God more. You have to purify your intentions. It means that thing was able to get through. So you're lacking prayers. You're lacking crystals and protection. You're lacking roots and herbs that'll protect you. But most importantly, your connection to God will put these things away, because they can't bypass God. They have rules. They follow rules. Even the devil follows rules. He can't put his hands on certain people who are specifically of God. The blood of Jesus is a thing. Every culture has a different variant of connecting to God, because he does come in different forms, but certain entities can't attach themselves, or they can't even come near you. They can't come near you. They fear you. And there's certain things you can do as well. So you can imprison them, you can send them back to the person who sent them, or you could just let God handle it, because he's God, and there are things that you shouldn't be dealing with in the first place, and he'll just send them off. Spirits are a lot easier to deal with. Demons, they're intelligent, but they can't pass God. Like authentic connections with God, because there's people who automatically robot read, and they'll go through the Bible, they'll go through their prayers, they'll go through certain scriptures, and they won't be connected, but they'll say every prayer, and they're like, well, it got through anyway. That's why, and one thing, one target I see, nuns are heavily targeted. And the nuns who, if their faith wavers, or if they become egotistical, or tempted with something that'll take away from the relationship with God, then the things can get in and present themselves. Because they're waiting at the front door for some really gifted people to be able to present themselves to. What do you do at that point? You talk to God. You ask God to remove it, and he'll remove it. Another giant indicator of an angel approaching you versus a demon approaching you. The demon will always cause some kind of pain. So you'll have a headache, you'll have numbness, you'll have tingling, you'll have, it'll feel, sometimes they can mask a bad feeling, because if you're used to bad feelings being around or not really familiar with the bad feeling that it can cause, it can hide its bad feeling, it can mask its bad feeling, it can make itself invisible in the sense of bad feelings if you're already not feeling good. So it's undetected, and then it kind of slips in. Its goal is to attach itself to you, and then to harvest energy. And for some people, what happens with you if you go down the route and you accept it? So basically it puts on a show, it does its thing, and now you're in communication with it. Now it's building energy. It is building energy. The thing is building itself up to move to the next person who can perceive it better. And they actually target people who, the thing is, when you're able to perceive it, you're going to give it energy and light, and the longer you talk to it, the more you bring it into the physical world. So after it's hit a certain level, which can be years, it could be months, it could be years, it'll just vanish, it'll leave. Usually they like to lash out before they leave. So they'll do the craziest things, and your whole family will have arguments and fights. They'll break stuff, they'll possess someone, and they'll take off, which sucks. You should not let it get to that point anyway. Everything will seem nice and fine until it's their time to go, and then they bolt. You don't want to let it get to that point. I've seen the same story over and over and over and over again. And these things will come off as good. Light disguised, darkness disguised as a light is very dangerous, because if you're not able to truly discern, and mainly it's your intention, it's your connection to God, it's who you are at a soul level. Is your soul truly connected to God? And here's a little thing too. If the thing is around you for a long period of time, ask the being its name, and give its name to God. If it's an actual demon, the thing will flip out. The thing will go nuts. It'll go haywire. Tell the demon's name to God and say, okay, God, can you help me verify it? This is an angel or a demon. And anyway, you should know, because these things should not be slipping past you. These things have nothing to say about God, nothing good. They'll tell you that you're God. They'll build you up. They'll feed your ego. They'll tell you, or they have different routes, because there's different levels of them. Most likely you're just getting a fallen guardian angel, nothing serious. If you're in a group of people, they like groups of people, because they can get the whole group of people to follow them. So the higher level ones, or the medium high level ones, will go for groups of people. What happens if they take their energy and go on, because they'll feed off the energy for about a few months to a few years, depending, because it's every dark entity is different. And then they go somewhere else. I can't say where they go, because they graduate. It's like college. They're like, oh, finally I have this much energy. It'll be like, slash hack. It'll do its thing and then take off. How can you prevent this in the first place? Prayer, connection to God, authentic connection, because some of you are praying and connecting to God, but you're doing dark things and you're repeating the same actions that caused the thing to come to you in the first place, or it caused you to be able to pick it up in the first place. Guys, I know this is an interesting topic, and this is for the more of the gifted people on my channel who have had their gifts opened by some of the crystals that they've gotten from me, because I'm responsible for you. And if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. If you guys would like your own crystal jewelry, go to floridastoneman.com. I make and bless them very specially for you guys. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.